Simon, the ever adventurous, found himself stuck in a thick, yellowish goo that smelled very much like baby's barf. For the life of him, he had no recollection whatsoever of how, or why, or when he landed in that hot mess. Speaking of hot, the yellow goo did feel scalding hot, but for some reason that escaped his mind, Simon did not seem to mind the heat. True, he was red in the face, his skin blotchy, and there were streams of warm liquid, perspiration. He would be certain, should he ever get around it, that ran down from his not quite bald but still very bald head, all the way down to his stubbly face and square jaw, pulling at the crane of his short, fat neck and overflowing the stiff collar of his shirt. He was, after all, shoulder deep in the goo, that hot, stinky goo that smelled very much like baby's barf. It had to be a dream, or else how could he have found himself in such a predicament, thought Simon the ever observant. As he tried and tried to revive himself from what he believed to be a dream so real, it all slowly began to dawn upon him that it might not be the case after all. Even though it was highly unlike that he, Simon the ever vigilant, would have willingly participated in whatever sick game this was. It was true that of late he was finding himself in weirder and weirder predicaments of which he had no explanations whatsoever. So there he stood in that abomination of a substance, certain that it was all just a misunderstanding with the universe. Seconds turned to minutes, which lasted for hours, that dragged on for days, well into months, stretching on for years and years. He stood and he stood, patiently awaiting his rescue from a stifling goo that he was certain was just a temporary setback in the grand adventure that was his life. Against all odds, Simon, the ever patient, stood in that thick, yellowish goo that smelled very much like baby's barf, waiting for someone to pull him out of it. Even today, if you look closely into any pot of yummy, heavenly cheese fondue, you will see Simon the ever hopeful as he stands there, ever so patiently, waiting for someone to pull him out of the thick, yellowish wood that smells very much like baby's barf. Thank you.